Being a full-time mom, one of the hardest things is actually trying to get back into employment. Now, the BBC made a documentary that was on the TV last night about what they basically call pyramid selling businesses, which primarily target young and vulnerable mums and single parents. Now, obviously, I'm in my 30s. I've had a number of jobs over my lifetime since leaving high school, and a lot of them, unfortunately, with living in a small town, a lot of the businesses that I did actually used to work for no longer exist. Recently in Nuneaton, where I live, the jailhouse closed. Now, the person who ran the jailhouse, he was the most, to me, a very fair and honest employer, and that business had been running in Nuneaton for over 10 years, as far as I'm aware. And sadly, it closed due to the hike in price in business rates. And I believe also the rent went up from the landlord. Now, obviously, when you watch these programs and it talks about, pyramid selling, and it explains clearly and concisely what it is and what it basically, how it sort of traps people who are trying to get out of poverty, which, especially living in a town like Nuneaton, is very high. It's not hard to think, well, hang on a minute, if I could just earn that little bit of money each week just to, I don't know, pay for a loaf of bread or to buy baby milk, because not everybody is entitled to claim benefits from the government. Not everybody wants to claim benefits from the government. And I think now with universal credit rolling in, a lot of the attitudes with regards to the benefit system have changed. And, as people will, in the quote of Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady, there are them that would have killed me for a hat pin. Nowadays, it's exactly the same. I mean, we talk about crime abroad, and yet crime in the UK has increased. And I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, we are going to get to the point where, if you are wearing jewellery and you're walking down the high street, somebody may come along with a knife and chop your hand off. And, people say, oh no, that only happens in places like the Middle East or, Jamaica or somewhere, where poverty is extremely high. It's not going to happen in the UK. And yet, sorry, that's just my alarm to, so it will go off in a minute. And yet, I honestly, due to the level of crime in the UK, can see that happening in the future. And, it is difficult because, everybody is on social media now. Well, not everyone, but the majority of people. So people are literally selling things left, right, and centre just to literally get a few pennies in their coat pocket. As if they're lucky enough to even have one of them. But at what point, does selling your children's toys, selling the odd plants, selling books, DVDs, be it to Entertainment Exchange or to Cash Converters, which are two places we have in Nuneaton, or, selling them online, sort of like Facebook Marketplace, when does that no longer become you basically selling things that you already own? You've not gone out, invested money or time into buying those products, but then you're offloading them to survive. When does that no longer become, you selling your own products, which, again, I'm still not 100% sure how that works when you're on benefits. A lot of people online will go, oh, I'm a single mom, I'm on benefits, I've just made 300 quid this week by selling clothes that no longer fit me. And I'm thinking, whoa, hang on a minute, do you really want to be posting stuff like that on the internet? Surely if you're earning £300 from selling clothes that no longer fit you, surely that defeats the object of being on benefits, because the whole point of being on benefits is that you're not actually working. So, at what point does then that then be classed as a business. I mean, it's a one-off. I mean, I've actually been to the job centre in the past where somebody got told that they needed to sell their car. They actually got told that if you are that desperate for money and you've got a vehicle, sell it. I don't remember who mentioned that or who said it, but it was something that was actually mentioned in the Department of Work and Pensions. If you have more than 6,000 in savings, you know, you don't have any chance of claiming anything really, to be honest. And yet, you know, I've said, well, you know, if I was to sell my car, I might get a couple of £100 for it. But that £100 or £300 that this lady bragged about having online, that probably wouldn't even pay her monthly rent. It was a one-off sort of, I believe, sale on social media. So, I mean, again, you know, with all this pyramid selling that they keep banging on about, I actually contacted a company that I was well aware that that's what they did. I'm not going to name names or the business. And I said to them, well, hang on a minute. I can't sign off to job seekers allowance and start working under you. You know, how am I going to afford my rent, my gas, my electric, my council tax, my childcare costs? Oh, you don't need to worry about childcare because you can do it from home. All you need is a computer, all you need is a mobile phone. You know, snap a few photos, get people to buy the products, bring bam, you're in profit. And it's like the programme said, pyramid selling was very misleading. And they said to me, for the first 3 months, don't even tell the job centre. And I said to them, no, I can't set up a business or any form of income and not tell the Department of Work and Pensions. Because the moment, like with anybody, they get caught doing this, they are liable to be fined, to be sanctioned, and can even carry a prison sentence. So what I'm actually doing next week is I am going to bite the bullet. I don't have to go to work just yet. My youngest isn't even 6 months. But my older two are in school. Just a minute! Apart from today, because he's still at nursery. But this was going to be the year that I was going to be setting up as self-employed. So I'm going to do a few documentaries, put them on YouTube, about sort of the pros and cons of setting up a new business, and basically just talking about how... Just a second. Brinley, you can't go outside, it's raining. Can you just wait a minute, please? Like I said, having children, it is very difficult to do anything. So even setting up a business from home, when you have your little one in the background saying, Mummy, I want juice, Mummy, I want ice cream, you know, which quite necessarily people may not even be able to afford. To me, they are what I would class as luxury items. And it's not something that we tend to have in our home very often. Because I always say to them, well, if you want a drink, you know, there's the tap. You know, I'll make you some council pop. So next week I will be starting the enterprise scheme, and luckily I have got childcare in order to go on this one-day course, and I believe after doing this one-day course I should know a little bit more about what it is like to set up a self-employed, the pros, the cons, what support is out there with regards to funding, training, and how ultimately, you know, the next sort of 6 months, so to speak, will affect my bank balance. So please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube. Well done, Brinley! My YouTube, to find out more. And like I said, this is about what it is like going from being a single parent to being self-employed in the 21st century, 2019, especially with all of the changes to the benefit system, funding, training and support out there, especially, you know, when one is unable to get a mortgage, so therefore even in the tenancy agreement unable to work from home. So it will mean getting a business unit. So depending on how things go next week, I will make the decision as to whether it's realistic for me to move forward. Thank you.